Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 245 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook and YouTube and X and Instagram and all of the places. We really appreciate you guys. And of course, if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thanks so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. Take just a minute, if you would please, click all of the buttons. The like button, the follow button, the subscribe button, so you don't miss anything we have going on. Tonight is going to be a fun, exciting, different kind of show, and I'm excited for it because Raul floated this idea, and I was like, you know what? That could actually be a lot of fun, and it's something I never thought about in a million years. So, brother, I appreciate it, and we're so glad to have the Rican back in his chair.
So happy to be back. So happy to be back.
So yeah, here in the Corona Cigar Studios, it's muggy, it's humid,
it's starting. You can tell it's going to be a hot summer.
Yeah, and it's supposed to rain basically like what 6 out of the next 10 days.
Well, my grass really doesn't need it right now. I did the May. Oh my goodness!
It's
even talk to dogs.
It's a little muggy. Yeah, the dogs because it's when the ground is wet like this. You know, if you have dogs. I'm not complaining, but it's just a fact that it's more work because you let the dogs back in the house. You got to wipe off their feet, you know, because their feet are covered in mud. So it's a little more work.
And now, well, I don't know about your yard, but now we got to wipe their backs to make there's no ticks on them.
Well, yeah, because it's tick season.
Yeah.
Although because it was such a dry winter, we hardly had any snow that mosquitoes haven't been bad. Usually mosquitoes are terrible by now.
Yeah.
So the mosquitoes haven't been bad and ticks haven't been bad. So I've been doing yard work a lot in the last couple weekends, and so far no ticks on me or the dog.
Oh,
you've got a lot more woods. We don't have. I mean, we just got grass. So fortunately, we don't have to worry about.
What about you, Justy? Why don't you come in here and join
grass? Wait, what? Yeah, about that. We got lots of ticks where we're at. We got woods.
Yeah.
We got garden stuff going on. Working on the greenhouse today. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, there's definitely ticks and big ass mosquitoes. I'm gonna go the opposite way, man. I'm gonna say since there wasn't a deep cold winter, that a lot of these things never even died over the winter, like the ticks and everything. So I think they're flourishing right now.
Oh, dude,
and they are all over the place. So if you got woods like we do over in the Ham Lake boys, you know, you got something else coming for you.
Yeah, I mean that's the there's like pluses and minuses to either one. Like I've just got the simple, you know, chain link fence sort of postage stamp lawn.
Yeah.
So I really don't have to bother with as much of like ticks and mosquitoes.
Yes.
But I don't have like, you know, I don't have my own space. You know, I look in my backyard and there's other houses like right there.
Yes.
You know, I could throw a rock and hit my neighbors.
You guys are well low grass, low maintenance over here. So
but then I don't get the like wide open spaces and the little more solitude from my neighbors.
Yes. And we don't have 6-story house neither.
No.
Well, it's not 6, it's 3
just have
stories.
Easy little split levels. Little tiny buildings.
We're just measly little Ham Lakers over here from 75 house built, you know. We're good to go. But
there's pluses and minuses with whatever you end up with.
I mean, I like the outdoors. We put our mosquito what's it, those fryers, those black light things, and they go zip zip. We got one of those things.
We've got the one with the like vacuum on it.
Oh,
it looks like a bug zapper, but it's not. It's a fan, and it actually like puts out some kind of pheromone or something, and they get close to it, and it literally vacuums them in and holds them.
So don't stick anything else near that.
Well, I would hope nobody.
Okay, I mean, Numero de los Muertos, it might be a good one. You know, let's go send somebody outside and see what happens. Okay.
I don't know.
I can't breathe free.
Wait. Too soon, bro.
Too soon.
It's okay. I got you back. Let's rewind that back for everybody.
So let's talk about
what are we here for tonight? Anyway, sorry, I got like lost about the
we're
woods and all
here
that.
about saying thank you to our sponsors, pretty much, and giving a little story behind all our sponsors.
Well, before we get into that, I know you guys got some sports talk there because there's some big things I heard going on.
What
Timberwolves?
The Tea Puppies are wolves now.
I
have to say, ate some chicken nuggets or something.
It looked like it was going to play out like yet another Minnesota sports story.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we win, we sweep the Suns in the first round of the playoffs.
Agreed, good for you.
And then we get to where we have to face the defending champs. Defending champs have home court advantage. Somehow we win games 1 and 2 against the Nuggets in Denver.
Right.
And then we're like, oh my, this is ridiculous. And then we come to Minnesota and lose the next 2.
Right.
And then we trade games. And this game 7, there was, I think, 9 minutes and 39 seconds left in the third quarter. And we were down by 20.
20.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like, what?
And then the Wolves just tightened up their defense and said, hold on.
And they started making shots.
Let's
too.
Go.
Well, because I was at a local place and I was watching the second quarter of the game, and they were they were missing shots like crazy. They weren't defending, and then I left that local spot literally right after the second half started, and I was like, no, this is over. And I get home, and a couple hours later, I'm scrolling Facebook, and all of a sudden I see all these people saying, "Oh, Timberwolves, go Timberwolves!" So I go on Google, I check the score.
Wait, what just happened?
They won by 9.
Yes.
Like what?
I mean, it set records for like the biggest Game 7 comeback in
isn't that and then
25 years.
Didn't they do something like that with the last was like 25 years ago, where in that exact same scenario with that was the last time they went to the championship game.
Okay, the last time they won a Game 7
on that same day, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was literally 25. No, sorry, 20 years
ago to the day.
That's to the day.
Crazy. I was like, what?
I know. So back in 04,
the team of destiny.
I mean.
What was that? Back when what's his face?
Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We have a way better chance against Dallas. So we got to play Dallas now in the Western Conference Finals.
Is that still the Mavericks or
the Mavericks?
Okay.
So we have a way better chance against Dallas than we did against Denver. I mean, on paper.
Right.
On paper, Denver was favored to win. Before the series started, Denver was favored to win the series. But
so you're saying there's a chance.
So right now, I didn't check. Most places are calling it for the Timberwolves for this next series against the Mavs.
No, that's not good.
But game 1, which is in Minnesota, the last time I checked, the point line was at like 3.5. So the Timberwolves are favored by 3.5 points to win the game.
Sindel said it was KG's birthday too that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, KG's birthday. Yeah.
I seen an interview with him. And they're like, so who are you going to cheer for if T-Wolves and Boston win?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, both of them. Both of them.
I love that.
If T-Wolves win, I win. If Boston wins, I win.
I love that. I love it. But it was great to see a Minnesota team show resilience. Like they were down, and basically they were down and out. Mm-hmm. Like elimination game 7, they were down and out. And then they just started making shots and started defending the ball, and their bench guys, that's what really did it for the Timberwolves. The guys coming off the bench, not their starters, guys like Naz Reid, just making plays, making shots when they had to, taking the ball away. It was a lot of fun. It's making me excited. And I freely admit, I've talked to all you guys, in the last few years about how I'm not the biggest basketball fan. I freely admit that I'm a fair weather fan, but I'm okay with that. I'm loving watching the Timberwolves play right now. It's possible that Edwards and Reed and Towns, and Gobert are there. These guys are going to get me excited again about the game of basketball.
I like that. Ant actually said in a post-game interview, he's like, you know what? I felt like I couldn't my offense game was junk. So I trusted my team and I locked it. What he said, Murphy, whatever the hell his name was. I locked him down.
Yeah.
And let my team take care of the rest.
Oh,
and
Murray, yeah.
So much for 22-year-old, 23-year-old,
22, I think.
He's so mature for a 22-year-old.
Yeah. And to hear the things like other like legends of the game have been saying about Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
Michael Jordan saying that the kid is special. You know, hearing guys Barkley and Shaq saying that the kid is special.
Yep.
It's so great to have a young up-and-comer like that on the Minnesota Timberwolves, surrounded by, you know, other players. Now, here's the thing, though. This is what it comes down to. We got to get through Dallas, so they can't just go. They may go into the first game against Dallas with a little bit of a hangover, so they may struggle in game 1 against Dallas. But even, let's say, you know, we make it through Dallas and we get to the championship round.
When you play Boston,
I've said it since before the playoffs even started. Boston is insanely good right now, and they've been insanely good all season.
Their game is, you don't like watching them because they don't look like they do a lot, but their defense is tight, their offense tight, their 3-point shooting.
Yeah,
they are a well-rounded team.
Yep,
but they're boring.
But it feels like if they're boring, the few games of theirs that I've watched this season where they've really dominated other teams, which is a lot of them.
Yeah.
They look like they look like they're so physically dominant that they don't have to.
It's just rudimental for them at this point.
Exactly.
Like,
it just seems like muscle memory for them.
It's just like, it's not like, there's no guessing, I guess, is what you're trying to get at. It's just or rudimental basketball. Just play the plays and then just keep on going and crushing. Yeah.
Very business-like.
So I just got to bring this up. William Cooper, how you doing, brother? I've never heard of a Minnesota sports report like this on HBTC ever.
I got to change the.
Oh yeah, we're still saying Matt.
It
Andrew.
still says hi.
Thanks, Tozy.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for letting us know, brother.
And then Raphael Nodell in the house. Hello from Miami. Enjoying the show. Keep it up, guys. Thanks, Raphael. We appreciate the support.
Yeah, glad to have you guys with us. So now to go to the bad.
Oh no, not bad
of Minnesota sports.
Oh.
So I'll say we talked about this at last week's show. The Twins went 17-3.
Baseball.
And then
we're talking about baseball.
We're talking about baseball.
Okay.
So the Minnesota Twins went 17-3.
Wait, where's this guy gone?
And then, are you getting a broom? What's the? You mother!
Boy.
The Twins went 17-3, and then promptly lost 6 straight. And they're playing today. I don't know if they won today or not. He's got the broom out.
We got a janitor in the house.
So Raul's, go ahead and gloat. Your Yankees swept the Twins in this in the latest Yankees Twins series.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah.
Not only did you get that out of your system?
Not only did
you
they
feel better?
Not yet. I'm not done yet. Not only did they sweep the Twins, all 3 games, the Twins had 1 run. All 3 games.
Yeah.
And now the Yankees, I think, are on a 7-game winning streak.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So yes. Oh, by the way, I had a great time with Dax.
Thank you, Dax.
Oh, you know what Dax says to you? Boom, Raul. That's what he says.
That's what he was saying when he was sitting right by me when we watched the first game.
Thank you, Coop. Why are we talking Yankee baseball? Exactly. Why are we?
Call back under the rock and be quiet.
Whoa. Shots fired.
No, the Twins had a great run, but again, I said it before. The run they had, most of those wins in that when they had 17 wins out of 20 games,
they played little sister to the
shitty. They were shitty teams. We're talking White Sox. We're talking Angels. Most of those games were against some of the worst teams in baseball.
Angels, I remember those guys.
Yeah, they're terrible this year.
Wow.
So
that other team from Toronto.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays
are we're sort of closely-ish matched with the Blue Jays.
The Twins beat up on them when they.
No, I know, but I'm saying that they're not greatness.
They're not junk, yeah.
So one of the better teams in baseball. We're not going to be able to put it together against a team like that, like the Yankees. The Yankees were in a slump for a while, and then all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, they've started.
They just needed something to beat up on, and shake some of that rust off. And
who better to do it to than the Twins? Right? Oh, brother.
Man.
Let's jump into Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way on to other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. If I'm not mistaken, tequila! It is the month of May, so this is another tequila.
Oh, we're doing tequila?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And this is a nice, looks like añejo.
It is.
Tequila.
All my tequilas are añejo.
It's got a very, very nice aroma. Citrusy.
Have we done Julio 1942 yet?
No.
Okay.
I don't have that common stuff in my stuff.
That's
look at it. I don't have those common folks things.
Yeah.
I got you. I like
it's citrusy and little grassy. I get a little bit of the barrel kind of oakiness off of it. Take a look. Oh, and yeah, you're smoking the Postania. That's the War Bear. All right, here's a little taste of this tequila.
You almost had it all over your shirt.
I almost did. Oh, that's really nice.
Is it tasty? My wife smelled
this. This is the weirdest thing. All right, this is the weirdest thing. I am actually getting like a little bit of cocoa.
Ooh.
It's bonkers. I don't understand why that's on my palate right now, because I don't even have a cigar fired up right now.
We should probably do that.
It's literally like citrus, like orange peel and cocoa and
talk to me dirty, Matt.
Oak.
Oh yeah.
It's
give me some of that oak.
It's really good. This is interesting. I like this. I mean, I doubt that it's like a flavored. I don't think it's a flavored product, but it's really good. Man, that's good.
What were you smoking again there, Raul? Let me just see that one more time.
It's a little War Bear.
Ooh. War Bear.
I don't know if it's this year's or last year's.
That kind is of a soft box that's the most recent.
Yeah, this year's then. So since since this is our first sponsor coming up.
Well, let's get into like the main segment so we can let the sponsors actually like get their.
And who's that brought to us by?
Get their due, the main segment. That's brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And following the resounding success of Blackened Cigar's M81 Maduro, Drew Estate announces the new Blackened S84 Shade to Black, wrapped in a luxurious Connecticut Ecuador cover leaf. The experience of this expression is distinctly different from the original M81 Maduro, while still retaining its foundational qualities due to the Connecticut broadleaf Maduro binder, and finally, filler leaves from Pennsylvania and Nicaragua. Presented in elegantly designed 20-count boxes, Blackened S84 Shade to Black by Drew Estate is available in a Robusto, Toro, Corona Doble, and Corona. For more information, please visit drewestate.com.
That's why you're our quarterback.
Why?
Because you're so good at that.
What, the reading part?
The reading and then keeping us online?
Well,
that's why you're a fucking awesome coach.
It helps if it's the first time I've ever done a read, you've seen it before. But like the first or second try, it's like little
you gotta say what
shaky.
Was the wrapper leaf again that went a little bit Corona, or what was it?
What was the old one? Yeah.
Oh, it was this. It was the Papas Fritas. Yeah. So that's the the wrapper is the
H99. Is that what that
H99?
Papa Fritas.
Connecticut Corojo or what?
Yeah.
I had to say the name of the wrapper leaf like 3 or 4 times. I tripped over it every time.
I was like, what is it called again?
Oh.
And what else you got from Drew Estate over there, bud?
I also have the original Blackened M81 Maduro.
Ooh, James Hetfield. That's Blackened whiskey.
Like that.
Bob Diedrich.
Get back. That's where you're a great quarterback. He's a great coach. What does that leave me? Linebacker. Yeah. Outside linebacker or inside linebacker? Gotta be inside.
Inside.
He's got to be inside all of that shit.
Inside all of it.
I mean, somebody's got to do our dirty work.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I don't have. I mean, look at me. I don't have the size to be. Look at these arms. They're like
what,
toothpicks.
You calling Raul fat?
No, I'm saying.
Okay.
It's calling husky. It's husky.
Oh, okay.
Husky.
Sorry. Husky. What's up, Jesus?
Clase Azul Mezcal should be Matt's next sip. That sounds fun.
So
I do like the smokiness of mezcal.
Bench warmer.
Listen, you couldn't hold my jockstrap, Jesus. So you just be quiet.
Wow. Shots fired.
Go get me some water.
He's our friend, bro. He's been in the studio.
He took a shot at me first.
What are you, 5 years old?
Yeah.
He started.
Everybody, he's on one.
Okay,
let me shut this guy's mic off. Hold up.
I don't need the mic. I don't need it.
Okay, I'll give it back to him.
So,
well, before we get into the actual sponsor spotlight.
Yeah, do we want to talk about Drew Estate a little bit?
I think first we'll because I need a cigar.
Oh, you need to get
I need a cigar fired up. So let's
do that.
Let's do that on the Cigar Toast Cam. Cigar is the leading accessory brand with innovative butane lighters, precision cutting instruments, travel cases, and humidors. Each product is designed and manufactured with the utmost precision and attention to detail. The result is a range of products that exude quality and refinement, reflecting the brand's dedication to excellence. For more information, please visit Cigar.com. See, I kind of got lost in the text that time because I was really trying to focus on, lighting up the foot of this cigar. So I really didn't want to.
Or is that thing whenever you get a compliment, you usually mess up afterwards? That's for me. Somebody gives me a compliment, I screw it up the next time.
I thought you were touching his leg or something over there, Raul.
Well,
my hands are on the table. It wasn't my hands.
Oh,
I'll never tell.
All right, where were we?
Cigar.
That was that was the Cigar Toast Cam. And speaking of sponsors, I am firing up what I just fired up is the Angel Cuesta from J.C.
Newman.
I am a really a fan of this cigar, very much so. Did we talk about what Justin's smoking?
Justin, what are you smoking?
Oh, it's not important. I mean,
of course it is.
Oh, okay. What do we got? We got a J.C. Newman. You can't see that.
That's kind of cool. You see that?
Yeah, you see the hologram. Yeah.
It goes right through you.
Boom.
Nope.
Oh, it doesn't.
Wow.
Now it's going through my hand. So it's the J.C. Newman Brickhouse Bricktoberfest limited edition from last year.
Nice.
Bricktoberfest. That's what happens when I play basketball.
Ooh, that's what happened. The Nuggets played basketball.
Ooh, definitely in the third quarter yesterday. That was Bricktoberfest.
Which sponsor do we want to talk about first?
I think we should start with our big dog, the studio sponsor, Corona Cigar Company.
Corona Cigar Company.
I mean, so they're like, Jeff Borshowitz, the founder of I almost said the founder of How About That Cigar, the founder of Corona Cigar Company.
I love his last name for some reason.
Borshowitz.
I love that.
It's a great.
Rolls off of your
It does.
Like Borshowitz.
He has to be from New York.
He's such a great guy, and he has built up this business into like multiple locations, and so I don't really travel a lot. So sadly, I have never gone to a Corona Cigar location, but I know many people who've been to Corona Cigar locations, and every single person I talk to says they're some of the best lounges you will ever see, with some of the best cigar selections you will ever see, and he also curates these spirits collections from whiskeys and rye. They do tons of their own barrel picks.
I didn't know that.
So they have insanely massive collections of spirits, bourbons, ryes, rums, tons of beer selections. They've got people that make really good craft cocktails and things like that. So, and plus, you add in that to that with like the Florida sun-grown tobacco that Jeff's doing with the Florida sun-grown farm, and some of the FSG kind of collaborations that they've done with Drew Estate and Davidoff, and they've got some of their own sort of Florida sun-grown cigars that are only available through Corona Cigar Company. Like some of the Davidoff, with the Florida sun-grown, or the FSG cigars, or the 20 Acre Farm, you can get at a lot of retailers around the world. But there's a lot of the Florida sun-grown blends that you can only get from Corona. And I think there may be even a couple that you can only get in store. They don't even put them on their website.
Oh.
So like I think it might be the farm rolls, that those are only available in store. And if I'm wrong about that, somebody let me know in the comments. But I know there are some that are only available in the store. But man, I just cannot wait someday to get on a plane, go down, visit one of the Corona Cigar locations.
Doesn't he have like cows and stuff too? I think he has some cows.
He does, yeah. He's also got Florida sun-grown beef.
Yeah.
He only does
going down there.
He only does like 2 or 3 cattle, maybe 4 cattle a year, I think, or something. It's very few.
Yeah.
And also I think he does Florida sun-grown honey.
Yeah.
So he's doing a lot of different work.
Many different things.
So the thing of it is, if you go down there, you almost have to pay for your flight, pay for your hotel, pay for your car, and then have a separate side account
for all the cigars.
Just going there.
For all the cigars you're going to bring home.
I want 2 of these, 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 2 of these.
Yeah.
A box of those.
Yeah. Well, and then you think, okay, as long as I'm in the area, because I mean they're in like Tampa and Sarasota and all these different locations in Orlando and Sand Lake. So then you think, okay, so I'm in the area. Let's also spend some time in Ybor City and go to the El Reloj factory for JC Newman.
Yes.
Go visit some of the other cool places that are in that area. Go to Mouthhole Barbecue in Sarasota. Ray, good friend of ours, got to know him through Risty at JSK Cigars at Ristafari. Started out with a food truck, making barbecue, made a name for himself, and now they've got brick and mortar locations for Mouthhole Barbecue and Smash Burgers and stuff like that too. Always wanted to actually go to one of his places and try his food. So there's just so much. The cigar scene in Florida, man, it's such a cigar centric place. All the way from Miami, down in Miami, all the way up to Tampa. There's so, and plus then you go further up
Pensacola,
kind of up the panhandle of Florida. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but there's a place called Sure Thing Cigars, and I don't remember his name, the guy who owns it, but I know it's co-owned by country star Luke Bryan.
Oh, really?
And they've got a huge social media presence, and they're in this literal like beach community. Almost, it's funny because this beach community that they're in almost looks like, you remember the movie The Truman Show?
Yeah.
It almost looks like that, where all the buildings are perfectly painted and the streets are perfectly groomed, and it's just this nice, quaint,
like Margaritaville or something.
Yeah,
we wouldn't fit in there.
Yeah,
sure you would.
Yeah,
we're just Ham Lakers. That's all.
Yeah, we're just Ham Lakers.
Any beach community is going to have its.
I mean, I did live in South Padre Island, Texas, for a while, Rose. So I did live in the beach. That's more like Hispanic. You fit more down there with me. It's okay. We can go to.
Yeah, we can go down there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most communities in Florida are going to have an insanely large population of Hispanic people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're good, Raul. Wait, you're Puerto Rican.
So you're going to have.
We're not too far away, so we're
okay. Right. We good.
So, but you hit up on JC Newman, the factory.
Yeah, another sponsor.
I actually did the tour with my wife for our my 50th. So a couple years
ago. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was so much fun. She had a ball. And the best thing about that place, and I think I've told you before, they got the Julius Caesar Coronas.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's the only place you can get them. They're so good.
Did you buy a box?
I bought a box.
Oh, I knew you did.
I bought a box.
And they're also kind of always improving. When we talked to Drew Newman at the PCA trade show, they're always improving that El Reloj factory experience, where you get to do the tour and they give you the history lesson and everything. And it's really more, I mean, they talk a lot about obviously JC Newman, but it's kind of a cigar history 101 of how Cuban tobacco came to that area.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, excuse me.
Tampa Bay area. And from what I understand, they're also expanding where there's this old run, because the El Reloj factory used to be kind of run down until they bought it and remodeled it back to its former glory. And from what I understand, there's an old building across the street, the main street, that they bought, and they're going to refurbish that into like a hotel.
I think it was a church.
Maybe, yeah, it might have been.
I think it was a church, a rather large church, but
yeah, and it looks really run down when you look at it on like Street View on Google Maps. But from what I hear, they bought that and they're going to refurbish it completely and turn it into like sort of a cigar centric hotel, maybe like places for people to stay where they go to do the factory tour and that kind of thing.
Very cool.
So I'm excited to one of these days get down there. And speaking of JC Newman, like you look at another one of our sponsors, JC Newman. These
guys right here.
Yeah, these guys.
Yeah, these guys right here. And what I'm smoking right now,
El Reloj factory right there in the background. Right?
That is the El Reloj factory with the clock tower. Yeah. And it's like a central, it's like a landmark in that area. Everybody knows that that's the cigar place.
Yep.
And they get a lot of traffic from people going to do the tour that really aren't cigar people. They're just, they're vacationing and they want a cool historic place to go visit, which is really, I want people who are cigar nerds like us and cigar smokers like us to understand that we really have, this is a little soapbox moment. And I've talked about this before on the show. We really have kind of a responsibility to be good stewards of the cigar community to people who are not cigar smokers.
Yes.
And that is showing people who are not a part of the cigar community how
cool we are,
how cool and fun and like good members of the community we are,
and how much tradition we have.
Yeah, the tradition, the history, and showing that we're good citizens as well as also being into cigars. The more we can do that, if we're, I'm all for being a rebel once in a while, but if there are places that clearly you're not supposed to smoke, don't light up a cigar there just to be a rebel, because it really it
makes us look bad.
It just makes the cigar community look bad. Be a good neighbor, be a good citizen, and help people who are not now and probably never will be members of the cigar community. Help them see the cigar community in a good light. Help them see cigar community members as kind and generous and helpful and respectful. You know what I mean? I think that's really important.
Yep. Totally agree. How you like that?
Few puff. I love this cigar. This Angel Cuesta is, ever since they re-released it last year, I just love it.
And when we went to their event at PCA, they gave us a couple.
Yeah.
That was a different size though, wasn't it?
Yeah, this cigar they make in a lot of different vitolas. Yeah. I want to say this cigar is available in like 6.
Yeah, we had like a Figurado or something.
Yeah, Figurado was big too.
So,
yeah, it's a big cigar.
Yep.
But they have so much history in the world of premium tobacco, the relationship they have with the Fuentes over the years, and what they do for the area that they're in Tampa. They have so much charity work that they help with, from the Fuente Family Foundation to local community efforts in the Tampa area, in Dominican Republic. Even I think some of the assistance they raise goes to help communities in Nicaragua. So they do a lot of good.
They do. And
that's another cool thing to see about really just about anybody who is a sponsor of ours, either directly or indirectly participates in charitable projects. I know Drew Estate does. Drew Estate gives a lot to local schools. They have school facilities, medical facilities right on site at the factories for their employees.
And don't they do a lot for the art?
They do a lot for the arts. Yeah, absolutely.
Culture studios and all that.
Yeah. And they even have programs where they'll give transportation to people in the Esteli area who are employees. And a lot of places will do this. They'll either help with transportation by offering busing, or they'll help with transportation by giving, some places will give like a stipend, because one of the big things in Nicaragua, that people use for transportation is motorcycles. And they're smaller motorcycles than we commonly see here in the States, so they're nimble and they get around quickly, and they're a little less expensive than a lot of people spend on bikes here in the US.
Like mopeds on steroids?
No, I mean, a lot of them are sort of street adjusted dirt bikes. And a lot of places will give people a stipend if they're as part of their compensation or in addition to their compensation to help them get a motorcycle to get to and from work. And to see the schools that they have, I mean, I've seen them firsthand at the Placencia factory. I've seen them at Drew Estate, where literally right on site, somebody needs medical care. They can go right in and get medical care from licensed physicians and nurses. They have schooling for their children. And it's interesting because you would think, there's so many people, if you go to these factories where they've been rolling cigars for years, decades in some cases. Yet you talk to the people who run the factories, the directors and the factory managers and things like that. They're sort of, one of their big goals is they want people to get higher education so that they can eventually go do something else, go be a doctor or a lawyer or, a pipe fitter or, a carpenter or, work in information technology or advertising,
or whatever they want to do,
or whatever they want,
and then just given the opportunity to plant that seed where they may have not have had that without that opportunity is like the biggest piece of the pie, right? So just giving back in the way like the Newmans and Fuentes
Drew
with
Estate.
them and Drew Estate and everybody else. It's good to see that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it just makes our community look better too.
Yeah, and
we're such a community. That's the best way I can say.
It's a close-knit community.
Close-knit community.
Yeah.
That
it's interesting too, because when you go, especially Esteli, Nicaragua, when you go to Esteli, you see how much of that community is revolves around cigars. And that, from everybody I've talked to who has spent time in Nicaragua for many, many years, you go back 30 years and Esteli was like a tiny little village that was extremely deep on the poverty scale. And the cigar industry has really turned that community around. I mean, there was even an area where they needed a bridge, literally, where people had to go out of their way to get to certain areas of Esteli, because there was a bridge, but it was only good for foot traffic or motorcycles, very small cars. But they needed something big enough for buses and trucks and things like that. Drew Estate paid to put in a bridge.
That's awesome.
Which, truth be told, sure, it benefits Drew Estate because it gives easier access for their employees and for their shipping and things like that. But name a lot of other situations where a company is going to say, sure, we'll pay for that bridge. You're going to be hard pressed to find that in the States.
Yeah.
And the fact that they did that, that says another thing about, what Drew Estate has done. And kind of talking about Drew Estate,
let's talk about their portfolio a little bit.
That's absolutely, because they've been around now for so long. We're talking 26 now, 27 years. And I mean, I'll say for me, back in the day when, because acids were not really, that was sort of what, got them going. But that first jump into like non-flavored, non-infused premium cigar for me was the original Chateau Real. And loved that cigar back in the day. And then they come out with, the Ligas and then the Undercrown. I don't know. Do you think Undercrown was the one that, like, it just feels like Undercrown, that first Undercrown Maduro, like, took them like stratosphere, like at least in the non-flavored, non-infused premium market?
I think for us nerds, it was the Ligas.
Yeah.
And then with all the artwork and everything else they were doing with the Undercrown, yep, that just pushed them over that threshold to the juggernaut they are now. And I like so many of their brands. And then you forget that that's one of their brands.
Yeah.
Like Herrera Esteli.
Oh my gosh.
They do the Pappies.
Yeah, the Pappies, the
it's not infused.
The Deadwood series.
Yeah. Deadwood.
I love me.
They've
leather rose.
I really love the Deadwoods.
Yeah, I haven't had one in a while.
Yeah,
I got to be in the right mood for it.
Mm-hmm.
The H99, yeah.
The H99 is phenomenal,
and
too.
Especially, I gotta say again, this H99 Papas Fritas, I think it's my favorite Papas Fritas. I like it better than the original Maduro Papas Fritas. I love these little cigars. This H99 Papas Fritas is, I can't get enough of them.
Well, I have a box of each of them.
Of the Maduros and the
Nasties.
Oh, the Nasties, yeah.
Nasty. So we might have to just sit down and have a little.
Absolutely.
Smoke them and find out what happened.
Absolutely.
But that whole H99, when that first came out and it was exclusive for events and stuff, I was like, it's all right. You know, then we had the Lancero and I was like,
the Phineas Gage.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Phineas
so
Gage.
good. And then that Papa Fritas just ended it off beautifully. What else is in their pro?
Well, Nacho Macho mentions it right now. Blackened the M81. I mean, and this is another like celebrity endorsement thing, which, and you know, when you look at celebrity endorsements, it's, you know, some are hit or miss. This one isn't. You know, when you look at like what Guy Fieri does with Espinosa and Knuckle Sandwich, he's super involved, super like skin in the game, always at events, stuff like that. And James Hetfield isn't, you know, in that same vein, but Drew Estate being part of Swisher International, they have so much capital behind them that they're still doing a lot kind of on the social media end of things with the Blackened series. Although it's becoming tougher and tougher for any cigar related stuff to make it through social media safely without getting shadow banned or whatever.
Right. And you have seen like James Hetfield a lot more with the cigar and that Blackened cigar in his mouth lately too. Across those labels, they've been pushing that pretty hard too.
He's sober now too, so I think that is his stress relief now. Cigars.
Yeah.
So,
and I like that you said like clips on social media of just him waiting to go up on stage. You know, make his guitar tech gives him his guitar, make sure it's all tuned up. He checks his ear monitors, all this, and then takes a few last puffs before he runs up on stage. And there's a good chance that at least a few people somewhere around the world go online and search James Hetfield cigar, and they're gonna find, because they don't know anything about, they've never even heard of Drew Estate. But they go on just because they see that. And there's a possibility that some of that is, you know, funded by Drew Estate and all that. I say bravo to that, because there's people going to go somebody who's never even tried a cigar. They're going to be like James Hetfield cigar, and they'll find the Blackened M81 or the S84, and they'll maybe go buy their first cigar ever.
Right. And it goes the other way too. I was actually smoking an M81 Blackened like just a couple days ago out in the parking lot with one of our customers, friend of ours that came over to the garden, and smoking. He's like, "You don't smoke cigars?" We're like, "That smells really good. What is it?" I'm like, "Actually, it's James Hetfield cigar, the M81." He's like, "I'm gonna go listen to some Metallica on the way home now." I'm like, "All right," so like it kind of goes both ways with that too,
Nice.
Hey, David, where was this saying? It tastes like dirt. That's not dirt. That's earthiness. We call that earthiness, not dirt.
The dirt. Yes, he does like the other one though, the nasty Fritas. Yeah, smoke it backwards.
No, I like the original Papas Fritas. It's just since smoking a number of the H99 Papas Fritas, I like that one a lot better.
And for us in Minnesota, it's a perfect size for the winter.
It is.
Perfect.
That's one thing we need is short cigars.
And Tom, if you haven't tried the S84, it's pretty good for a Connecticut cigar. I mean, imagine the M81, but a Connecticut version of it's pretty spot on.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've heard mixed reviews from not necessarily like from official like cigar reviewers, but just people posting or people talking about the cigar. And I've heard some people say they like it a lot. Some people say they didn't like it at all. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I've only smoked 2 so far.
Right,
but I enjoyed it.
But again, I like to let my cigars sit for a while before I smoke them too.
But is that we know people in the community they might not like it just because it's a Connecticut wrapper.
True.
Some people, that's true.
They might be biased, even if they don't say it. They might just be biased because it's Connecticut.
That's true. And then there's screw it. Let's go down this.
Let's go, baby.
Then there's the brand bias.
Yes.
Where some people are like, oh, that's that. Some people are like, oh, I only smoke, Davidoffs or Opus X or whatever.
That probably isn't a cigar for them. It just probably isn't,
probably not.
But how many of those people, and we know this is true, if you give them 6 unbanded cigars and you ask them to pick out which is the Opus, which is the the S84, which is the Davidoff, and which is the whatever.
Yeah.
And not many of those smokers would be able to, if you even were just as a lot of those smokers wouldn't be able to pick out, a $3 cigar from a $18 cigar.
Fair enough.
I'm brand biased too. I got to say it too, because whenever Saka puts something out or whenever Romacraft puts something out, I'm gonna try it, and I'm not just gonna buy one.
I think everybody. I agree with you. I think everybody is brand biased, whether we admit it to ourselves or not.
Yeah.
And even as hard as you even if you try, like, put in some kind of concerted effort to be pragmatic and brand neutral, that psychology is what it is. We can't avoid it. We are all going to have some form of brand bias.
And speaking about which, for some reason, Gurkha gets a bad rap, right?
You say a bad rat?
A bad rap.
Oh, okay.
Rap.
Got you.
There's reasons for that. Blah blah blah. But how many of their cigars would you take unbanded and smoke it and go, oh, this ain't bad. It's okay. But when you find it's Gurkha, it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And that's brand bias in the opposite way,
Yeah, that's
negative
why
way,
that's why I really like the whole blind man's puff concept. Is that when they send their cigars out to their reviewers, they take the bands off first, and so they have no idea what they're smoking.
And that Standard and Twain.
Yeah, the Standard and Twain thing too. Yeah.
I've been a member for 4 months now.
Yeah.
You haven't even opened it, have you?
haven't opened any of them.
One of them.
Oh,
they're just getting put in the bin.
They'll
They'll
have some good rest time on them when you finally open.
Speaking of rest time, Tom D was asking how long to put that S84 for a while time. I mean, Tom, I usually do at least, new cigars, I give it like a month or so, but I'm doing 6 months a year sometimes for me personally. But
it depends on what I'm doing with the cigar.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just going to enjoy it, I'll say this. If I walk into a local brick and mortar shop and I buy the cigar out of the humidor, I expect it to perform properly.
Yes.
If I buy a cigar from an online retailer and they ship it to me, then I expect that it's going to need to. I usually like to leave it. If I'm just going to smoke it to enjoy it, I'll leave it in my humidor a week.
Yeah, at least.
If I'm going to smoke it to review it, I leave it in my humidor at least 3 weeks.
And also, Justin, we're lucky enough, we're privileged enough to have a big enough collection of cigars,
correct,
where we can wait 6 months to smoke a cigar.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. We're in a different way here.
We're nerds.
Yeah. So yes, Gurkha does have a Tyson cigar coming out. I believe it's called Undisputed.
No, Undisputed is
Underrated.
That's underrated.
That's underrated. Yeah. I think it's called Undisputed.
You're right.
And it's a one and done, by the way. I don't know how many boxes they're making. If anybody knows who's watching, please put it in the comments. I don't know how many boxes they're making, but it's a limited run and it's a one and done.
Needless to say, I'm going to have to buy a couple.
I bet you buy a box.
Yeah, I'll I know there are some shops around that are going to have them.
Yeah.
Grove would probably have them for sure.
But I definitely want to try it.
Yeah.
I want to try it. I'll say that Gurkha is in a really good position just company wise because first of all, they've been around for a really long time. Second of all, they have an absolute ton of SKUs. And that is brand names, like cigar names. They have a ton of them. And most of the brands they have in their portfolio are not even currently in production. So that means when the whole, when the whole FDA thing rears its ugly head again and they try to get back into the thing where the brand can't be newer than X, Y, or Z, or you're going to have to pay to have it registered or whatever, tested by the FDA, blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, that crashed and burned, but the FDA is going to continue trying that year after year.
Yeah, the government don't like losing.
But what are called predicate brands that have been out for more than X number of years, Gurkha has a shit ton of predicate brands. And there are a lot of companies that have a lot of predicate brands in their back pocket that they can, quote unquote, re-release someday and not have to go through, if the FDA finally does someday, if they're able to get through this nonsense where you have to, do all this crap, then these companies that have a lot of predicate brands are going to be in very good shape because they're not going to have to pay all those fees that other companies are going to have to pay.
And if you're a company out there right now, you might put some stuff out just to say it's out there now, and then
there's been I think that's slowed down, but there was you're right, there was a stretch of 2 or 3 years when it looked like the hammer was about to fall, where companies were releasing tons and tons of brands, and as far as I know, the rule is you just have to sell that cigar one cigar, one store, have the sale on the books documented, and that's officially, and then you obviously got to file the trademark and all that stuff too, but you only have to sell one cigar in one shop in order to have that sale on the books and that brand name on the books. Hopefully, that worries about the FDA are far away, but it's the government. You never know what they're going to try to do.
Let's talk about
so speaking of brand names, right? What are you going to talk about?
I was going to talk about Postani.
Yeah.
What were you going to talk about?
I was going to go over somewhere else.
Well, let's talk about Mike, because I love his story.
Say his last name.
No.
Mike Stepan-Cabbage.
Stepan-Cabbage.
He doesn't look like a Stepan-Cabbage. He looks like a Mike Rambo or something.
Rambo.
Like Johnny Rambo.
He's a powerful man.
I just love his story about how he started out in the shop.
Yeah.
And his podcast is blowing up, and he's putting out great sticks. And yeah, we didn't rate him last year, but I guarantee that when it happen again with that Surrounded by Champions 2220.
Yeah, the SBC 22.
It's phenomenal.
Insanely good cigar. I have the Justice. I haven't smoked it yet. But I fell in love with Postania as soon as they came out.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I loved learning about Postania was learning who their factory partners were. And this is a big thing for brands. Anybody who's starting out a cigar brand is pick good factory partners, build relationships with them. And a lot of these places, you're going to have to build relationships for a long time before they're willing or able to make cigars for you.
And who is his factory partner?
That's Nika Sueño. That's the same. That's Roma Craft. So baby. It's Mike and Skip's factory in Esteli.
And he hates it, but Skip blended that Surrounded by Champions for him.
Yeah, I know. And I think he said that's the only SBC that he didn't blend. So yeah, he's like, damn it. But that's a big thing for young up and coming cigar brands is quality factory partnerships
and collaboration.
And yeah, exactly, and collaborations. And Postania, I am pretty sure next year, 2025, is going to be 10 years for Postania. I believe the original Postania, like broadleaf and Habano, came out in 2015. Because this broadleaf is from an original box, and I'm pretty sure I bought this box in 2015.
So do I hear a 10-year anniversary stick?
Oh, for sure.
I would hope that they would do something.
Knowing them, they were already working.
And it was probably
a couple years ago.
Mike, if y'all listening to this, we know you're up to something over there.
Yeah.
I mean, we know something's coming out. If we're right about this, let us know.
Mike's got a cigar out that's pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the BDP?
Yeah.
I like that cigar.
BDP?
I do like that
you know
cigar.
What that stands for, right?
I do.
Sure.
I do. And what was the
Big Dick Polak?
Palmer.
Oh,
What was there was another, gosh darn it. Now, if somebody remembers in the comments, there was another cigar that came out as part of it wasn't like a Postania cigar, and it was they're like,
was it Fable?
umbrella company.
Fable.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Fable or Guaymaro. There was another one that came out under the umbrella of Poshik, which is Postania and those brand. But they had them at Sodi's when Sodi's was still smart enough to carry the Postania cigars.
Okay.
And it wasn't BDP and it wasn't Postania, but it was part of the Poshik family of.
Was it
brands.
the mix that he did with Matt Booth?
Maybe
it's a Bible. It's a Bible quote.
Oh yes,
Bible book.
Ezekiel
25:17.
Yeah.
That cigar was really good.
Yes,
I was gonna smoke one tonight.
That cigar was really good.
FQ William Cooper says.
Yeah, and that's also another FQ
and fourth.
Matthew Hunt.
I got a question for you guys as cigar nerds. Do you ever look in your cigar stash and go, I really want to smoke this, but I only have 2 left,
or I only have 1 left, or only have 1 left, and then I'm like,
I don't want.
That's this right here.
Yeah. And now these days, I don't give a shit anymore because I used to post them all the time. Now I'm smoking cigars on the way to work or in breaks or so. It's like I just grab shit.
This is the last one from that 2015 box of Postania broadleaf.
Thank you.
So I love you, but I don't love you.
Oh, you know, LUV him.
So yeah, I mean Postania, and I also love the fact that when Mike reached out to me about possibly being an advertising partner on How About That Cigar, and I said I'd love to talk about it, and he said send me over all the stuff you have, and I sent him over the stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that, but he wasn't a dick about it. He was just like, yeah, I can't make that happen. And I said, just let me know if anything changes. You know, we've got some other cost options, blah, blah, blah. And he hit me back like, I think it was less than a week later. You know, I kind of was, it was out of my mind by that point. And he hit me back, I think less than a week later. And he said, you know what? Yeah, let's do this.
But we're doing it
my way.
But we're doing it my way. And it was that's why I love the ad read. Yeah. Because basically, and I've said this before, basically Mike wrote that, and it's basically like it's How About That Cigar doing an ad on our show that makes fun of How About That Cigar, basically. And I love that because I do tend sometimes to get too business oriented, too serious.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Mike kind of pulled me out of that and just was like, just have fun. And if you haven't watched or listened to Cigar Hustlers podcast, it is one of the cigar podcasts that I still listen to every time I get a chance. Yep. It is hilarious. They really don't talk that they just have fun. Yep. They don't talk a ton about cigars. They just have a good time. And I love watching and listening to that show. And
Palmer's got his own.
And Palmer's
got a little spin-off now.
You're right. Palmer's going crazy with like the social media stuff.
TikToking the hell out of it.
And I'm not completely sure. I think Palmer's retired maybe. I don't know what he used to do or currently does for like a day job, but I think he's retired. So he's got like a lot of free time and stuff like that. So he's doing all the social media stuff for Cigar Hustler. They do the Chet and Palmer podcast. And Chet's another awesome dude. If you haven't seen their podcast as well, it's also hilarious. Chet is a solid individual. And it's
saw them at PCA, I think.
Yeah. They're good people all around. And I like just the production numbers and all that stuff for Postania and the Poshik, cigars. They're keeping things small, limited, high quality, making sure everything's right, and taking good advice from people who have experience in the industry, like Skip Martin, Mike Rosales, and others. And actually following their advice instead of just saying, no, I'd rather do it. Because I mean, how many brands have we seen over the years that probably got good advice along the way and chose to, chose to ignore it and haven't had the same kind of success that brands like Bostania have had.
What's up, Paul Woods?
Hey,
he says, "Hey, fellas,
how's it going, brother?
Rich Jordan in the house, evening and all."
Paul would definitely wish we could have joined you down at my old Kentucky Herf.
Oh yeah, I just watched something with Risty today. His little interview from the Kentucky Herf.
Yeah, it looks like a blast. I really
it was on Mother's Day weekend.
Mother's Day weekend's tricky.
Yeah.
So if we can ever have it on a weekend that's not Mother's Day weekend, there's a possibility.
There's always ways around that.
We can make it happen.
Honeys, why don't you come with us?
No,
we need one day to go do our cigar thing. The other 4 days are all yours.
Yeah,
I like the way Raul thinks.
I like the way you think too, but
I think we could.
And I guarantee wives want to get away from us.
Yeah.
When
wives
they're on vacation, hanging out with them,
Kentucky, and go look at bourbon places and things like that. And maybe
we got to get them by a beach.
Okay. No beaches in Kentucky though, but
they got lakes there, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm saying the weekend right before Mother's Day weekend would be ideal.
Don't they do it with the Kentucky Derby?
Right,
that's the same weekend.
It's worth the trip, Greg Free says. And then Paul says, you missed an amazing event. May 10th next year. Plan on being there. Bring the wives and moms. Roll had the plan. Yeah, buddy. May 10th next year. Mark it on the calendar now.
And Paul's wife is cool as heck.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome, by the way. Good job,
Love
buddy.
the hospitality with all.
Definitely outkicked your coverage.
Ooh.
All men outkick their coverage.
True.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yes, you're right. We're like the only species that the male is not better looking than the female. Our species is the opposite. Like birds, they got big feathers, and most animals, the male's got to puff out and look good, and
we puff out, just not in the same.
But we don't look good. We don't look as good as our wives.
I may speak for yourself. Oh well, yeah. Not the wives.
Justin's getting skinny. I'm on these new meds for the last few weeks, and not to get sidetracked, but I'm on these new meds for the last few weeks, and my appetite is like zero. And it's not like it's not Ozempic. It's not the Ozempic. It's something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But literally, I just don't feel hungry in the slightest. Hey. And I'm okay because I have lost just shy of 13 pounds in 10 days.
Drink a bunch of coffee every morning.
That's what I drink, a whole pot of coffee every day.
Time you're going to give up to my life.
And I never feel hungry at all.
Go.
I literally might have to give the name of it.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Well, but here's the other problem is normally in most of my life, at night when it's time for bed, I lay my head on the pillow. I can count backwards from 5 and be asleep before I get to 1 every night.
And now you're having issues sleeping.
Now I lay in bed for like 2 hours before I can even fall asleep.
Oh, really?
I don't like that a bit.
We might have to talk.
Well, I don't want to mess with this med though. That's the thing.
Okay.
So I got to be careful. I don't know. Anyway,
I like that.
Oh, nice. She smiled for me. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and Kentucky Herf, man, again, Mother's Day weekend is really tricky, but we'll see. Even if not, just getting down to Asheville, to Fat Ash Cigar Lounge, such a fun lounge, such great people. Would love to even just take like a summer or a fall trip, just to go back to that shop.
You know who
again.
I think we should talk about next, since he's just being all snarly in the
But hold on. By the way, hold on.
Greg Free.
Speaking about somebody who outkicked their coverage, his new girlfriend is.
Oh, Greg Free. He said Viagra makes you lose weight.
Viagra makes you. I it's something about those blue pills that. No, it's not Viagra.
So speaking of weight. Fortaleza y Libre.
I know.
Fuck your life.
Fuck your life cigars, as we call it on the DL.
We'll call it FYL cigars.
Yeah. FYL. Sorry.
That's what Greg has asked us to call it.
Yeah.
I don't care what he wants to say.
Hey, we're getting the name out there.
But Greg is the newest sponsor.
Yeah.
And Greg signed a sponsorship with us just before PCA.
Yeah.
And
very appreciative, Greg.
Yeah, we're
very appreciative, especially with everything that you have going on in your life right now. To be able to sponsor us, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
means the world.
Well, I was lucky enough to spend his birthday with him. I think he's 65. for his 65th birthday.
Yeah.
There's no way
It
Greg
sounds
is
good.
65.
What was Ed there?
Ed was there.
Okay.
Ed is 65.
Ed is like 95.
Ed is, he's 65, but he doesn't look a day over 95.
Right.
But I got to meet his girlfriend, his new girlfriend. She's phenomenal. She's a cop. I hope you don't mind me saying putting your business out there. But she's awesome. We got along great, and I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him.
Well, and Greg got a little bit of a baptism by fire in the cigar industry with a little bit of legal trouble, but you know, he just, you know, he worked his way through
punches, kept on moving, and didn't even like lose any sleep over
That's
it. He
just
kept on doing.
That's the right way to say it, Justin. He kept his chin up the whole time.
Yeah, he didn't even lose any sleep over it. It's like
Right.
nothing ever happened. Same logo. I don't notice a difference. I mean, come on, the same cigar. Good.
Yeah. And his concept was good and interesting and fun. The blends are good.
I love the way that they come up with the damn cigar names. They all go down the factory, get drunk as piss, and like throw some shit at the wall and bottles across the room and shit, and see what sticks. And then they wake up the next morning and see which one they can find that actually was written down.
First, they find out who wrote it down.
Oh yeah, they got to figure that out first too. Right.
But his an intimidator. Is that how it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Intimidator.
Intimitador.
Intimidator.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
You're close enough.
The red, white, and blue one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That really close to my favorite cigar that he puts out.
Besides the Sun Country.
Sun Country
Yes.
Corona.
Sun
Sun Country Corona
yeah,
Gorda for me.
And for all of you don't know, all of the names of the cigars from Fortaleza Libre are named after bowls.
You just show off.
Bowls that are actually.
He knows his shit.
I don't know my shit. I just act like I know my shit, but
you know your shit.
So they're made after the bowls names and that are in
PG.
the PG, yeah,
PGR.
PGR, yeah. So that's kind of a cool concept there. You know, every one of them's a banger that's came out so far.
We gotta buy a bowl and name it Rican.
Rican, that's a good one. You writing that down, Greg? Rican, Intimidor,
Or the Minnesota Rican.
Ooh, Mini Rican.
Mini Rican.
Ooh, Mini Rican.
Speaking about bulls, I love that that movie. I can't remember what it was. Where he's like, "Yeah, I just got done milking the cows," and he's chugging it.
Kingpin.
We don't have any cows. We only have bull.
We have a bull.
Oh boy.
So,
Couldn't leave it there.
no, that's great.
It would have to be smaller than a Papas Fritas. What?
So Greg's smoking a Bushwhacker San Andreas right now.
Ooh, I like that.
But the small Rican is in the shoe.
Ooh.
I'm gonna need you to rephrase that, Greg.
The mini Rican.
Don't say the small Rican is in the chute. That's.
I see what you did there, Greg.
I'm gonna have to ask you to rephrase. That's graphic.
Greg has invited us down to DR once I get my passport.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And once I get my thing taken care of,
Looks like it's only gonna be you.
You can go. Tell us how it was, Matt. Us Ham Lakers, we got things. We got issues. We got issues.
So, another sponsor that we want to talk about all of them, but the other one that I'm going to go to right now is Don Doroteo.
Don Doroteo.
And
these handsome life gentlemen right here know what's going down.
So Don Doroteo it's an interesting story as a cigar company, but also an interesting story as to how we got, hooked up in with an advertising agreement and, them coming on to be an advertiser with us is, we were the first people to interview Don Doroteo at Don Doroteo's first ever PCA trade show.
Yes.
In 2022.
Yes, I remember that. That was the first PCA that I did. Was the first interview that I ever did do.
Yeah, it was your first PCA and it was their first PCA as a cigar company. And it literally, as soon as we walked in the trade show floor, we walked up and saw their booth and it looked cool and walked right up and said, "Hey, could we interview you guys?" And Juan and those guys have been so gracious. And here's the big thing with them is, they have a cool story because of their sort of connection with La Aurora. And if you want to talk about history, La Aurora, one of the most well-known historic cigar brands ever, and their factory and their farms and all this stuff. And, you know, they come out with this original product, the El Legado. And, you know, it turns out it's a product that was resting in aging rooms at La Aurora for what, 14 years, something like that. And already had tobaccos in it when they were first rolled that were 8 years old or something like that. So you're smoking cigars that could be upwards of 20 years old. And we were impressed with the cigars, loved their story, really loved their passion for it. And they just seem to be down to earth, true guys. And they have proven that time and time again, that they are down to earth, true people. And the following year in 2023, we were, you know, getting down to the wire for PCA, and it was looking like we weren't going to have the money necessary to make the trip to PCA and cover the trade show. And I actually went as far as to send an email out to kind of everybody on my list of companies at the cigar trade, at the PCA trade show, saying
like a Hail Mary.
Well, it was basically like, because I had asked dozens of different companies.
What's up, Tony?
And hey,
Ronnie,
Tony, hey,
how
Ronnie.
you both doing?
Ronnie.
I had sent over the course of the first 6 months of actually late 2022 into the first 6 months or so of 2023, sending out tons of emails asking, you know, hey, we'd love to have you as our sponsorship partner for PCA trade show coverage. And it just kept not working out. And I sent an email to everybody on my mailing list, said, guys, well, I'm really sorry. How about that cigar is not going to be able to attend the PCA trade show this year. We were really hoping to make it happen, but it didn't work out. We wish you guys a great trade show, and you know, wish you all the best, so on and so forth. And hours later, I get a text message from Juan Lugo at Don Doroteo saying, I got you. And we talked on the phone, and he said, how much do you need? And I said, as basically a way to sweeten the pot and sort of as an extra thank you, I guess, the sponsorship, because Don Doroteo right now sponsors the notable smokable segment on every episode of How About That Cigar Live throughout the year for 2024. And when he agreed to sponsor our PCA trade show coverage for 2023, I said, I'm going to give you a full segment on the show at no extra charge for 2024. And, you know, we have absolutely loved getting to know them. And I've got the last year's project, the Salt of the Earth line. This is the Piedra Viva. And this is a cigar that's made with that Andullo tobacco.
And the other one that's on the screen now, one boutique cigar of the year for 2023.
Yeah. That was from Cigar Enthusiast. And that's the Piedra Angular. And yeah, they've both those Salt of the Earth lines, they've got that Andullo tobacco in it. And then even this year, they came out with another project at PCA 2024 that's more of it's another sort of legacy project, where it's one of those cigars that was in the La Aurora aging room for a really long time. And so that's another one that we're excited to try. But that relationship just kind of came about in a very community kind of way, where we just got to know each other. And you know, we want to support them, they want to support us, kind of thing, supporting the industry. And there's so many relationships like that we've built over the years, where excuse me, I think I literally inhaled a bug.
It was a mosquito that you said you don't have.
Protein.
I think it was actually a mosquito. But there's so many relationships with companies, whether they're advertisers or not, honestly, that we've just been able to build over the years. And these are strong relationships. You know, these are relationships where we see each other outside of, you know, cigar spots, and we, you know, we ask each other about each other's families and each other's lives, and, you know, kids and things like that. And it's been a lot of fun to get to know everybody in this industry over the years.
I like the way fermentate ferment that tobacco.
Oh, that Andullo tobacco.
Yeah, the way that thing is cool.
That's the Andullo tobacco. I mean, they basically they wrap the leaves really tight and in sort of this log shape, and it's almost similar to and you do find Andullo style tobacco in a lot of pipe tobacco, so it does have just that little hint of sort of sweetness almost. But they are a lot of fun to smoke because they give that little hint of something outside of the sort of standard issue hand-rolled cigar.
Ronnie, how you doing, brother?
Ronnie, I was talking about dating
and Heather.
Ronnie.
You got Heather in the house too as well.
Whoa.
Hey Heather, how's it going? Yeah, so Ronnie, I'm still upset that Ronnie. Oh, you got both accounts going. Good Lord.
What brand of gummies did he take today? I want some.
No gummies. Honestly, I was these guys can attest to the fact that before the show started, I was kind of down.
And as soon as the show started,
yeah, he's like, "You guys are going to take over tonight."
Yeah,
we're
you
like,
guys run,
"I can't even get a word in with this guy."
Yeah,
sorry.
Hey,
the lights turn on, and all of a sudden, I turn into like
you got a cigar in your head.
That's kind of like you sometimes too. You come in here all beat up after working 50 hours a day, and
you guys put me in a better mood. See, you guys in cigars put me in a better mood, and our viewers as well.
Yeah, we got a lot of new customers from that show, guys. Thank you, Ronnie says.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah, Ronnie called me.
Yeah.
Last week, and he called for no other reason than just to say thank you.
Did you get the numbers? I know he wanted the numbers.
He gave he's watching the numbers more closely than I am on views on Facebook and YouTube, and it's like the numbers on the show that Ronnie was on are going. They've already surpassed a lot of our biggest viewed shows.
Okay, but
the numbers on his episode are going at an upward trajectory faster than any episode in the history of How About That
Ronnie?
Cigar.
Heather, you guys got something going on over there. He said he beat Saka. Whoa.
Ronnie's got almost a cult following.
Yes, he does. And Ronnie's show was great, David Floyd.
Yeah, it was.
That was a good one.
That was fun.
We got a tour. I mean, I've never actually been able to go to the shop, but just being able to like take that little camera tour was fun. And then
what you guys didn't see is we stayed on for about an hour and a half afterwards and kept chopping it up.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We were talking all kinds of
stuff.
Yeah,
we were talking all kinds of things. It was awesome.
We need to do like a Patreon behind the scenes
after show.
Yeah, like the after show, like on another platform or something like Cigar Daily does.
Well, sometimes after show we talk about stuff we don't want anybody.
Yeah.
Well, but there wouldn't be any advertisers, for that show, and for Patreon, people would have to pay if they wanted to watch that after show.
He said that's all I care about was beating him. I told Kisaka who was a goat. He was going to beat. Oh, Ronnie, we love you, brother.
I'm thinking it's time.
Is it time?
So don't we have one more sponsor?
We do. We do. I want you to talk about this one because you're the one who. I mean, you've helped with a lot of them, but this one was you reeled this one in.
So Tony Hogan Insurance.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine. He actually got me back into cigars. I've always smoked cigars here and there, weddings, this or that. I used to roll a lot of my own cigars, but it had green stuff in it. But he got me back into smoking. At a UFC event, we were hanging out. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Have this." I'm like, "Oh, this is pretty good. How do I get a little humidor?" And he set me on my way. So it's his fault. I'm the beast that I am now, with my cigar collection. But he's a good dude. He's got a great staff over there. You should just call him and say hi. Hey, Ron. Hey, Tony, we want to call you and say hi.
Yeah.
But he still has. If you call and get a quote, you get a cigar, and actually the cigar is a Romacraft cigar.
Yeah.
Is it the Volstead?
It's the Volstead. It is the Volstead. So yeah, Tony's a great dude. He came in at the end, and he's like, I gave him the list you gave me about this is our sponsorship. I don't want to do that one. That's not enough. That one's not. I'll take the middle one.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, and I appreciate him. And he is my insurance guy also.
And then
So
David Floyd has a question too. Does he do policies in East Tennessee, or is that just like a Minnesota thing? Do you know? He might be.
Give him a call and ask him. I don't know. He might.
Give him a call,
he might.
David. Yeah. Greg Free says Hoagland is the GOAT. Yeah, and I think it's really cool. He got State Farm as a sponsor on her actual.
Yeah,
show. When I told these guys I'm working on State Farm,
we're like,
no, what?
What?
Oh, what?
Well, that's what I was like. I don't think we're going to get an insurance company as a sponsor. But it's Hoagland Insurance is a private contractor,
right?
And it's not very often that you see cigar shows with non-cigar related sponsors,
right? So good job, Raul.
I'm working on
that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
You got up your sleeve next.
Is it time?
I think
I'm thirsty as shit. I didn't grab a water or anything.
We all know you're thirsty.
So I think it's time for this week's
Numero de los Muertos. I've never done this before, but I'm doing it twice.
Numero de los Muertos, brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
Honest Steve here with the GOAT to tell you about Smoke Inn's Cigar of the Month Club. Every month, I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Every month, there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. All delivered to your door for $34.95. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoke Inn Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace.
Well,
Numero de los Muertos episode 245.
We're going to put that on pause for a second
because
we need to talk about that sponsor.
Another fantastic sponsor, Smoke Inn.
Honest Abe.
Are we talking about the lingerie sponsor that Roll's working on?
Plus size lingerie.
Are we going with like
Duluth
Trading Company? Ooh, Duluth Trading Company.
We'll do
get their boxers.
Plus size.
What's the name of their boxers?
I don't remember.
Ballroom.
Yeah. I think Hector knows about them too, right?
So we'll do. We'll get an advertiser that all they make is plus size men's lingerie.
Yes. Won't fit me, but
won't fit you.
No.
It doesn't fit me.
But
Smoke Inn.
So Smoke Inn. Sorry, go ahead.
Ronnie, Tony was going to be on the show tonight.
And he couldn't make it.
Tony, but we're going to have him on the show. We're going to have him in studio so I can beat the hell out of him.
We definitely talked. We've had Crux. We've had Jeff Hogan from Crux on the show a few times. But Tony, he hasn't been on the show before. We've interviewed him at the trade show before.
Yeah.
But Smoke Inn, Abe DeBabna, Honest Abe, Smoke Inn, the GOAT. And the GOAT.
He has a thing starting at the end of the month. All Saka.
Yeah, Summer of Saka.
Summer of Saka.
Part 2.
Yeah,
the second Summer
and
of Saka.
Some of the swag and the deals he's giving away.
Yep.
It's gonna
it's pretty insane. And so Abe has really been great since the very beginning. When I first started reaching out at the 2019, 2020, early days of How About That Cigar, I was reaching out to places, seeing if we could get a little bit of ad revenue to pay for software licensing and streaming services and stuff, just to keep the show on the air. And Abe, as soon as I sent it to Abe, he replied back and he said, because I sent it through email, and he really doesn't respond to emails very much. He's got an assistant, and he's extremely busy.
Yeah.
But he replied to my email very quickly, and he said, "Give me a call." So I called him, and we talked for close to 40 minutes. And he asked me a bunch of questions. He gave me a ton of advice because, you know, he's been doing KMA Talk Radio forever. So he also knows the podcasting side. He knows the retail side. And he just gave a ton of advice. And I love that he gives advice that is no bullshit. It's experience. It's advice built on experience. And he bought in for advertising right away, and he wanted to sponsor the segment Numero de los. He's like, that's the segment I want to sponsor.
Nice.
And
it's the hottest segment of the show.
It is. And I said,
the hottest segment in podcast.
I said, absolutely. And he's been a great ad partner and just friend ever since. The event they put on with the Great Smoke every year is,
if you haven't been, you've got to do that at least one time.
Absolutely. It is such a fun event. It's an absolute blast.
It was my 40th birthday.
Yeah, we went there for Justin's 40th birthday.
You pup you.
Hey, it's hard to look this kid at 40, you know.
And I mean, you got there's just so much that you get from being a part of the Great Smoke. You know, you not only do you get a ton of great cigars, you get a ton of swag, you get opportunities to meet and greet with some of the biggest like cigar celebrities you could ever hope to know. You get to hang out with and smoke with a bunch of great people. There's food, there's different booths. You can get haircuts or tattoos or drawings or, you know, caricature like drawings of yourself and massages and all kinds of other stuff while you're there. It's incredible. And live entertainment, music, and the way they transformed the world of cigar entertainment with the Great Smoke digital experience, where they basically do like a Tonight Show. They broadcast the Great Smoke live
Virtual
on streaming, and it's literally like a Tonight Show, Ed Sullivan style variety show. And it's above and beyond.
And also, you don't have to attend to get all that swag and cigars neither.
Yeah, you can get.
That's a great part too.
Yeah, you can get the digital experience, get the kit shipped to your house. You still get all the stuff. But if you're able to go to the live event, I highly recommend it. Plus the fact that Abe's shops, the Smoke Inn locations in South Florida, in the Miami, you know, sort of that strip, you know, along, you know, that coast of Florida, you know, from Miami all the way up to West Palm Beach. I think 6 locations, I think it is, or 7 locations.
Like that,
huge selection of cigars. They have a vault with like some really high dollar or vintage stuff. They have great bars, great cocktails.
Oh my God, the coffee or whatever the heck it is with the little sugar cube thing.
Yes.
Cuban coffee?
No. This is like a big old like cappuccino or something with like the sugar crystal stick in it too. It's like delicious. Like, and then I had like 3 or 4 of those, and it's like I just be a huge rail Coke or something, you know, back in the day.
And just massive patio spaces outdoors, massive couch and seating areas inside, great cocktails, beer selections. Accessories. That's one of the things about Smoke Inn that really struck me was the accessories they have like available right there in the store, from humidors, travel humidors, lighters, cutters. They have pretty much everything, especially in the West Palm location. All the accessories they have, it's insane. And they have so much more warehoused through their online store, so you can buy it, you know, online. And it's bonkers. Not
to mention their, you know, customer service. Like Thomas Darling, he mentioned them on How About That Cigar when Abe was on, that he received a bad club Humi pack that leaked. Abe contacted him that night and replaced it within 4 days. Abe is the GOAT. So I mean, there are not a lot of shops where if somebody contacts, especially multi-location shops. So I have every confidence that, just like happened with Thomas Darling, he reached out to Abe directly, and Abe took care of it. Abe's the proprietor of a multi-location,
multi-million-dollar,
huge cigar business. But Abe didn't pass that off to some. Abe took care of it personally. I have every confidence that Jeff Borshowitz would do the same thing. But there are some large corporations, not naming any names, who, if you reach out to customer service, they have a team of people who probably do a good job, but you're not going to get a response from like the CEO, which when you look at Smoke Inn, Abe is the CEO. When you look at Corona Cigar, Jeff is the CEO. If you go to some larger corporations, you're not going to get that kind of response. And there's something personal about that, where you actually have you get personalized service from, and I'm not saying every time you have a problem with Smoke Inn, it's going to be Abe who fixes your problem, because they have a lot of other great customer service people. But the fact that happens ever, that the CEO of a company with 6 or 7 locations
contacted him that same night that he was on the show,
the same night,
right after he got done. It was like,
that's a big deal. And you don't see a lot of that anymore. And the fact that it happens even every once in a while says a lot about Abe and who he is. And you can see that same work ethic go down through the ranks. You see it in Alex Tavella. You see it in other people who work at Smoke Inn. You see that work ethic exemplified in the people that they have on their staffs. I love that. And the same is true for Corona Cigar. And
I also like the way Abe on Facebook, how he's always posting stuff. He gets back to your comments right away.
Yeah.
He's taking that Facebook thing to another level.
And KMA Talk Radio is another great cigar podcast. They really do a great job. They've been doing it forever. And they do a phenomenal job and a lot of fun to watch.
Hello, Allison.
Hey,
hello,
Allison.
Let me get down to that Greg Free comment.
Oh, there. So you got some glue stuck up back there, or what's going on?
Well, Greg Free
do tell.
Glued on. Do tell.
You being my friend, I thought you would sponsor my mustache, but no, Oliver from United Cigar had to sponsor this mustache. So, buddy, do better.
That's it. Just do better.
Do better.
Just do better.
Yeah. So let's do Numero de los Muertos.
Oh,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Since that is the Smoke Inn sponsored segment.
I'm going to guess
1.
They were killed with glue.
All right. The number is approximately.
What kind of glue? Gorilla glue?
Mustache glue.
Okay. Approximately 100 people every year die from this.
How many?
Approximately 100 people die from this every year in the United States and Canada.
There's a 1 in it still.
He won't sponsor a fake mustache, by the way. Yeah, we'll get back to that, Greg. Skiing accident.
It is not a skiing accident.
Suffocated by a friend.
David Floyd.
Not suffocation. Not
scorpion.
Thing. Penis scorpion stings. Now, is that a scorpion stinging you in the penis, or is there a specific breed of scorpion called the penis scorpion? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, we all want to know that. I mean, you put it out there, David. Let us know. Like, what are you referring to there?
He says yes, so it's both.
Yes. Okay. Lumberjack?
Not a lumberjack.
What about a polar bear attack?
Not a polar bear attack.
Is it a bear attack in general? Are animals involved?
Animals are involved.
But they're not stinging penises.
They're not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Bad healthcare?
Not bad healthcare.
Animals, dog bites.
Not dog bites.
Lando? This is on land, right?
Cat scratch fever.
I will say land.
Okay.
Cat scratch fever.
Cat scratch fever. No.
Thought I had it there.
Is this a mammal?
Land or sea?
It's a variety of different creatures.
Okay, but it is animal related.
It's animal related.
So does this come from animals or
no?
But is it
a disease from animals?
It's not a disease from animals.
Not a.
Is it
parasite?
Mosquitoes?
Not mosquitoes.
Parasite? Did you say parasite?
It's a parasite. Yeah. Not a bear attack. Not a ram attack.
You didn't say none.
No, it's not. It's not an animal attack.
Okay. Tripping down the stairs over a pet.
No, that's a good one though.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Moose attack. No.
No, not an animal attack.
Suffocated with elephant dung.
David, I want to have conversations with
I want
you
to know what's going on.
Like, we want to
know what goes on in David Floyd's head.
I want to learn more about the way your mind
works.
works.
If you really want to hang out with David Floyd, you got to come to Tobaccology.
to
that boil.
Fish boil.
We sat there. I talked to his wife more than I talked to him.
Did you get him the cigars?
Yes, I gave him the
Good.
cigars.
Okay, just making sure you got the cigars.
Greg,
He got all 2 of those cigars.
Oh,
Greg Free.
Wait, we said more than 2.
No,
he got 2.
I think it was 8.
He got 2.
You kept the other 6 for yourself.
Yeah.
It is not a car crashing into animals, and it's not falling through the ice.
Falling through ice. No. Okay.
The animal one's a good one too. I thought deer got deer running out smacking.
Yeah. You got a great.
It's not dogs. They were 3 really, really good sticks though.
Let's see.
What are some of the other pertinent yes/no questions that?
Workplace accident.
Not a workplace accident.
Were vehicles involved?
Vehicles are not involved.
And this is on land.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Canada and the US.
What's another one of the most pertinent yes/no questions that's commonly asked?
Were alcohol involved?
Or drugs involved?
It doesn't directly say whether or not alcohol or drugs are involved.
Okay. Was this like 2 people, 1 person at a time? 100 people died from this. Okay.
Approximately 100 people per year in the United States and Canada. And yet nearly 1,000 people per year in the United States and Canada are injured in cases like this. Approximately 100 of those 1,000 die.
Mating animals.
No.
You ever seen the way they do horses?
Not related to sex in any way.
I saw zebras.
The way they breed zebras?
I know. I just saw 2 zebras at the zoo once. Like
they were going at it?
Yeah, we were like me and my fiance, my wife at the time, and then all of a sudden, like
we saw gorillas doing that.
They were like, oh, they're getting piggyback rides, and then the old people are getting their cameras out. They're like, look, Johnny, they're like, I don't know, it was weird shit, but yeah.
I think Greg Free.
Your mom.
To you.
I'm not
that's
gonna.
That's mean, Greg. That's just mean.
Entanglement with a dog knot.
No. That's a good one.
Well, animals are involved, but it's not directly from the animals.
Correct.
And it's not some kind of.
The animals do not have a direct.
People that get killed at a zoo
do not directly contribute to or cause the death.
Either it's a zoo or a circus.
Neither.
Is this
selfies?
Entertainment?
No.
Eaten by an animal? Not that.
No, not eaten by an animal. Not selfies.
This is a hard one. There's 100 people.
I can't believe you guys.
What years? Or is this,
it's average per year.
So this happens all the time. Come on, Rican. What you got?
I had the dogs. I had the cats. Yeah. I had the deer.
Matt's smiling over there. He's like,
I'm really surprised you guys aren't
hunting.
Getting at least
national parks involved.
Yes.
Hunting accidents.
Hunting accidents.
Greg Free finally got something right today.
Oh, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Greg Free.
It is estimated.
Congratulations.
Estimates. Estimates show that nearly 1,000 people are accidentally shot during hunting accidents in the United States and Canada each year. Of these accidents, approximately 100 result in death.
Hey, Mr. Free, you want to go hunting with me next year?
Oh, boy. No.
And
I'd rather get shot by a rifle than a bow.
Well, here's the interesting thing, though. They don't have the numbers on it, but a percentage of those injured or killed are from accidental self-inflicted wounds.
So falling out of a tree and shooting themselves,
or just not being properly trained to handle a firearm and shooting themselves.
Take the hunter safety course when they're like 15.
Yeah.
Or also sometimes if you're climbing a tree stand, a shotgun gets hooked and you go to pull on it.
Don't have one in the chamber when you're on your way up or down.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have a live round in the chamber when I'm on my way up the tree stand or down the tree stand.
As soon as I get off my ATV, there's going 3 in the chamber.
Not me. Not until I am seated in the position to make a kill am I gonna put a round in the chamber. period.
That's why I like bow hunting. It's harder to do.
Well, that's a different. Come on, you don't have one in the chamber. I mean, it's not knocking an arrow is not having one in the chamber.
That's why you're not one of the 100.
Yeah,
that's why. That's right.
And Raul may be one of the 100. Hopefully, bless his soul.
Well, that's why I'm glad you hunt with a bow and now.
Yeah, there you go. Don't fall on your arrows.
Yeah, a lot.
I'll tell you what, Greg, you win something, but I'll tell you off air what you want.
Yeah, it's a secret. It's a secret.
Don't wear your furry costume during hunting season. Good advice.
That's bad. Yeah. It's bad.
So it's time to reveal the spirit of mystery.
I forgot what it was.
Did you have a picture of it? Did you write it down? Shut up. Are you? This is the reveal of spirit of mystery, and you don't remember?
It's Padron and Neho.
No.
Okay.
Oh shit! I didn't take a picture, but I know what it is.
So we don't know what this is.
I do know what it is.
He knows what it is. He's just pulling it back.
I hope it's lingerie. Greg says. No, it's a used uniform from a women's pole vaulting team.
Yes. That's what Greg wants. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you ready for this one?
Oh, did we do the dun dun dun?
Oh, thank you. That was this week's Numero de los Muertos. Thank you, Justin.
Thanks, David Floyd.
You ready? You ready for this?
Thank you, David Floyd. Yes.
Kirkland.
Another Kirkland.
Oh boy.
I tell you what,
Kirkland's on fire.
They're
doing something right.
And Ryan said it on the show last week that most of the stuff Kirkland puts out, they have a lot of money, so they can go to top producers and get, because they have buying power.
Yeah,
they can spend like per ounce.
It's like white labeling alcohol, basically, is what they find a white label bottle and putting their name on it.
Yeah, because if you buy like a barrel pick, like we did with Sodies and Crux. You do a barrel pick, you get one barrel, you're going to pay X number of dollars per ounce of whiskey that's in that barrel. Yeah. But Kirkland's got so much money, Costco has so much money, they can go and they can spend, $10 million, and they end up spending pennies on the dollar what somebody else would pay because they buy so much.
Yeah. I mean, if I owned a alcohol spirits company and they called me and said, we need this much, you just made my year.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. I can still pay my mortgage basically for some of these companies. Yeah. It's like, I can still pay my mortgage. Yep.
Speaking about,
it's good tequila. I mean, it's
better than the other one, wasn't it?
It is definitely better than the other one. The other one was fine, but the other one was milder and kind of didn't have a ton going on.
Yeah.
This one has, and again, it's the first time I've ever had a distilled spirit where I got notes of cocoa from it. It's almost like that sort of dark Mexican chocolate that they put in mole.
Like in the Underground 10?
Like in the Underground, exactly.
Mexican hot
kind of earthy, chocolatey.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. So this is a tequila I would happily drink again.
I think it was $29.99.
Wow. I will be buying a bottle of this.
Tetranoma or whatever, the rocks one was like $50.
And that's not, I've read that tequila isn't even like properly made. Like it's got artificial color and flavor and shit in it. So I don't know if that's true or not, but
we know what's going into margaritas when you come over.
If it's Kirkland, then they usually only go to good producers. So I like it. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
All right, let's do the lightning round, brought to us by our friends at J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and the American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 113-year-old El Reloj Cigar Factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com.
So, I know you have questions, but I'm going to go off.
Oh, jump in.
I got a question for both of you guys, and I hate to put you in the spot. If there was only one cigar company that you could smoke for the rest of your life, just one, and not like Drew Estate, where they have all of it, just like Liga or Undercrown, just one that you could smoke.
Oh, like one blend. Oh, brother.
Like a desert island cigar or like the cigar?
Just the cigar.
Oh, man. Oh, This
And there's no money. I mean, it's limit. Whatever you want.
Luciano, brother, it's good to see you. This is an unfair question. This is
it's a good question.
It's like asking me to choose one of my children. It seriously is. It's like asking me to choose
one. Just pick one cigar that you smoke the rest of your life, and that was it. Whether it's the most complex cigar, it's the most consistent cigar, whether it's your perfect palate, it hits your palate perfectly.
This is not.
See, Raul sits around and sits about this. He thinks about this stuff all day. Like I don't know if I can think about one that I can have for the rest.
Miss you too, brother.
Yeah. This is a.
Luciano says you don't have to answer that.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards not answering. This is too. Honestly, it's too difficult.
You
for me to
haven't had
answer.
to intimidate it, so it's not.
I mean, it's like
you just right off the top of your head. Don't overthink it. I know that's hard for you. It's just don't overthink it.
That's not the way my brain works. I can't.
Just one.
I can't. Seriously, I can't. I can't do that. My brain is just you asking me that question is giving me like deep anxiety. Like my brain is now going 1 trillion miles an hour. I can't even process like information right now because my Rolodex in my brain is going through all these cigars that I've smoked over the years and trying to land on one. And it's like seeing the wheel of fortune go around and trying to stop on one cigar and it just won't stop. This segment's not supposed to give me anxiety, but you just gave me like deep anxiety with that question, bro. That's messing with my brain. Raul's like, my work here is done. My work here is done. I just broke Matt's brain, he says.
See if you get me off the shore again.
Can you even come close to an answer, Justin? I can't.
No.
I can't. My brain is seriously tied in knots.
Let me make it a little easier for you. Country.
Oh, brother.
Dominican Republic.
I'm Nicaragua.
Fine. It's close. Nicaragua and Dominican.
Yeah,
it's like yeah.
Okay, so here's the problem. Are we talking factory is in the country you're mentioning, or the tobaccos that are in that because there are cigars rolled in Nicaragua that are all Dominican tobaccos and vice versa. Quit being a bit. I can't.
If you can only smoke one country cigar.
Are you talking about a cigar rolled in that country? Because
whatever helps you answer the question.
I genuinely cannot answer this question. I know it sounds like a cop out, but
Raul's? Let's hear what Raul's is.
I said Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, okay. Yeah.
I genuinely
and you want me to tell you the exact cigar?
I'm not going to ask you to answer that question because I can't answer it myself.
I'll answer it.
What is it?
Wonderlust.
Wonderlust.
If I can only smoke one cigar the rest of my life.
It's a fantastic cigar.
That's my.
It's a fantastic cigar.
I mean, there's a lot of great cigars out there, but if I can only smoke one, it'd be the Corona.
I mean,
how about this?
Here's
what Vitola. Since you don't even want to go there, let's just
he's got
Vitola.
that.
We'll give him an easy one.
That's easy.
We'll give him here.
Yeah.
Everybody who has ever watched the show before already knows the answer to what Vitola for me. So it's Corona Gorda for me. Here's what
I had to give him something to answer.
Okay, I'll at least narrow it down.
On that.
I'll narrow it down to this: the cigars that have. Okay. Wait a second. I'm gonna go back because this is a true. First of all, it's a true answer, and second of all, it's an answer that's not that I really care, but I sort of care. It's an answer that's not going to get me in trouble because it's a cigar that's not made anymore. See, you just rolled your eyes. The limited edition Joel Sherman's 75th celebration from 2014 or something like that.
Great answer.
It's quite possibly. It's not quite possible. It is absolutely one of the best cigars that has ever been made anywhere in the world, and it was extremely consistent. There's Coop. It was his cigar of the year in 2014. That cigar is insanely fantastic.
Put what Greg Free put up.
Cop out. Yes, it is absolutely a cop out.
And don't get me wrong, I love a lot of cigars out there.
Coop agrees though,
but
with Matt.
No, he doesn't.
I will.
Here's what he says.
Aside from that, I'll say any cigar that's ever been named cigar of the year on How About That Cigar?
Fair enough. So this year it is the Tatuaje
Lomo de Cerdo.
And we know
Tuxedo.
how many bundles he still has of those and how many he's gone.
He doesn't have many. He doesn't have bundles left.
I do have bundles.
Yes, he
left.
bought more. He bought more.
You bought more?
I bought more.
After the ones
After, yeah.
Yeah.
Supported another retailer and
and
bought more.
I can't even say you have a problem because
No.
Hello, Potts. I am Keto.
All right, so some fresh lightning rounds.
I'd like to see how many. Well, I suppose they'd always say their own.
Yeah.
How many guys, guests that we have on there?
Yeah.
Answer that question. They'd have to say their own.
They'd have to say
Greg Free, what's yours?
Yeah, Greg Free.
Luciano, what's yours?
Luciano. Raphael, if you're still watching.
Raphael, yep.
I
hear crickets.
Oh, literally, we do hear crickets outside.
Yeah, we do actually. It's literal crickets because we can hear them because the big door's open. All right, Justin.
Hit me, Matt. What you got?
What's your biggest pet peeve?
People that say pretty much when they answer something. I'm like, it's a yes or no question. Don't tell me pretty much.
Oh, I say that sometimes.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, everybody does.
No, there was this one guy that I worked with. He never would say yes or no. And I'm like, it's a yes or no question. Well, pretty much. I'm like,
you know what mine is. You ain't got to ask mine.
What's that?
Fucking being late.
Oh, being late? Yeah.
That's my pet peeve.
Raul shows up everywhere 10 minutes early. Ready to go.
10 minutes. Everywhere.
My biggest pet peeve is people who are intentionally cruel.
Yeah.
Like in their speech or their treatment of other people. Like you can tell they're just doing it for the sake of being cruel. So because being cruel makes them feel good. It
lifts them up. Yeah.
Absolutely. It absolutely makes me want to put my fist through a wall. But yeah.
Luciano.
Luch put some out.
They don't make it anymore. His first cigar ever, the Bolivar Redentor.
Brazil exclusive.
That sounds good.
Wow. That sounds fantastic.
So let me retrace that then.
Greg Free said the Sun Country.
Don't be a dick. That's my rule.
Don't be a dick. That's definitely on the
Yeah.
list of How About That Cigar rules.
And there's a difference between being a dick and razzing guys.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're saying hurtful stuff just to make somebody go.
When you see somebody, whether it's to another human being, whether it's their spouse or their kids or to an animal, when you know that they're being intentionally cruel, that my blood boils over like instantly. It absolutely drives me through a wall. All right, so something a little lighter.
So listen to this real quick. The other day we had a call. We had a run. And next door, I heard a lady yelling at a dog. Just pissed off at him. Get out of the way. So I looked at the cat and I said, I'll be back. I went over there and I go, hey, what's going on? You having a problem with your dog? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. She shit on the kennel. So that's why I'm yelling at her. And she's my baby. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought I was going to have another dog in my house.
Oh.
She kind of smiled at me. She goes, yeah, I understand. But yeah, the dog pooped everywhere. And so she had a.
All right, this question I like. Raul, you're going first on this one. Which one would you prefer? 3 wishes over 5 years or 1 wish now?
3 wishes over 5 years.
Okay. So you're patient.
No, but by the time that 1 wish My first wish is losing its luster. I'll be ready for the next one.
Hey,
I like that.
like it.
I'm going the 5 over the 3 years. I mean, when did you get the first one?
No, it's 3 over 5 years.
So
Let's assume you get the first one of the 3 right now.
Fuck yeah, I'm going 3 over 5 years.
Yeah.
Why am I just doing 1?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
Unless there's in the first one's going to be this big, and then the other 3 are a little smaller.
Well,
ones.
we didn't determine that there's any like restrictions on these wishes.
Yeah.
You get 3 wishes with the genie. Why am I taking 1?
Yeah.
I want the genie. Give me the genie.
What about you?
What do you want?
Well, I'll take the 3 wishes over 5 years.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That first wish might kill me, but I'm still taking.
Well, because what you wish for in 5 years might be different than what you're going to wish for today.
Yeah.
So you're going to change and grow as a person, hopefully, and So this one I like too. What are the ingredients on your perfect sandwich, Justin?
My what?
Your perfect sandwich. What are the ingredients on your perfect sandwich?
Meat. More meat.
Any particular species?
and some bread. Some veggies and some bread. That's what I'm doing. Meat, veggies, bread. That's all I eat.
What kind of veggies though?
What kind of meat?
Yes. All the above. Not picking.
So just
my perfect sandwich.
I'm not picky. Just give me something to eat.
Okay. All right. I respect
perfect
that.
Sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly is good.
Peanut butter. That is an outstanding choice.
I like
honestly. I didn't even think of that because my mind when I read the question, my mind immediately went to like meat and cheese kind of sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter. That is a great choice.
You're never too old for peanut butter and jellies.
Mine is the Cubano.
Cubano, yeah.
I mean, it's when a place makes a Cubano right, and it's got to be traditional.
Yes.
Like when I go to places,
you can't go to Subway.
they put like Dijon mustard or mayonnaise on a Cubano. Or like fancy different kind of pickles it's like no when a Cubano is made in the most traditional way with that real Cuban bread that's made with lard instead of vegetable oil, and the ham and the mojo pork and the Swiss cheese and the yellow mustard and the dill pickles, it's perfect. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, cheeseburger counts.
Cheeseburger definitely counts.
Greg Cheese says meat, cheese, and bread. And then Luciano, by the way, I just
congratulations, Luch.
His name
is
nice. Leonardo da Vinci. It's a Cavapu. He is going to be his new travel buddy, taking him everywhere. Do you want an event? Leo comes with me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. We've got a Cavapoo. One of our dogs here at home is a Cavapoo. Ruby. She's
Ruby the Terror.
She barks. She barks at everybody. She's 4 years old, and she grew pretty big. She's like 16 pounds.
Yeah.
She didn't. We really wanted her to stay tiny, but she grew up. We were expecting her to be like a pocket dog, but she grew up.
And Rubens have to be made a certain way too.
Yeah, Rubens definitely have to be.
Now, if we want to go to what sandwich place, if I can only pick one sandwich place, Cat's Delicatessen in New York.
I've never been.
Never.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness.
No. Sandwich place. I wish I could remember. So when Justin, you remember when we went to the Great Smoke? And we went to that Cuban restaurant, ordered at the window.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We had something there.
We had
Cubano there?
I ordered a Cubano. I don't know. I don't remember.
I got a Cubano there too.
Yeah, that place made a real traditional.
That was right when we got in town. Actually.
Outstanding Cubano.
And met with Matt Tobacco and his wonderful wife.
Yeah, that place had true traditional Cubanos. They were outstanding.
Dax, that might have to be a day trip for us.
Cats.
Fly to New York, have some cats, fly back. Maybe watch the Yankees beat up on somebody.
Are you guys like ballers now or what?
His wife's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Works for the airlines.
There you go.
All right, let's jump into notable smokables brought to us by our friends at Don Doroteo Cigars, a brand with both purpose and passion, dedicated to creating change from within. By developing their own land, they are able to own the entire process throughout the life cycle of the plant. They methodically carry out each step, ensuring that the final product is of the finest quality. The new Salt of the Earth lines, Piedra Viva and Piedra Angular, are available now at Don Doroteo Retail Partners. Please visit dondoroteo.com to learn more. So, notable smokables. I usually don't go first on this, but I'm going to go first tonight just because I kind of have a curveball outside of like our norms. And that was yesterday. I smoked a Tobacco Especial.
Nice.
And I those are like every few months, like a couple times a year.
Yeah, it's like the Deadwood.
Yeah.
You smoke it every once in a while just like a dessert.
I really enjoy it. Is like a dessert. It's a sweetened tip. It's got infused flavors, coffee, and sweet cream and things like that in it. But it's a nice twist every once in a while, and I still really do. And it was a morning cigar with coffee, and I drink black coffee, so I get the sweetness from the cigar and the little bit of bitterness and earthiness from the coffee. And it makes the garage smell incredible.
Yeah.
So I still love those little cigars. The baby Sin Compromiso.
That was one of the 3 cigars you sent them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. One of the 3. Shut up.
What about you, Justy?
I'm going with the HBC Edición Especial 2018.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was in a Corona size, if I'm not mistaken, or something centimeter. So probably Corona. It looked like
the
picture. So
Rainier Lorenzo is doing it right with
everything
HBC.
I spoke from HBC, like I'm like,
solid.
Something's going on there all the time, and like I'm like, that's one of the brands that does stick out to me. Like that's not pushed for as much as some people do, but people that know.
He's not boastful in any stretch of the imagination. He's super humble. He just quietly, humbly makes good cigars. Really like that guy a lot. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
what you got, Ro?
After we talked about doing the show, I figured let me run through some of our sponsors' cigars that we've gotten, that we've bought. And I'm a big number 9, Liga number 9.
Yeah.
I love those. I'll buy them by the box when I can. But I had a T52 this morning after breakfast.
Probably been sitting there for a year or 2.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
And that thing probably hit like a champ.
It was a Toro too, so I was like, but I smoked it to the nub.
Yeah.
I'm a T52 guy. When it comes to 9 versus T52, I'm a T52 guy. Love that blend. That stock cut Habano. I absolutely go crazy for it. Yeah, That's a great choice. That's a great choice. All right, coming attractions brought to us by Hoagland Insurance. At Hoagland Insurance, they are excited to serve and educate any new customers and give existing customers a refresher. Whether it's a business policy, auto insurance, home policy, or life insurance, if you are currently insured or just looking for a quote, Tony Hoagland and his team would love to create a personal price plan just for you. Mention How About That Cigar when you make your first appointment, and Tony will have a free cigar just for you. For more information, please call 763-421-4900 or visit champlininsurance.com. Coming attractions. So you guys may or may not know, we had to reschedule with JP from Peter James Co. John Paul is going to be on the show on June 3rd. So next Monday night is Memorial Day. Being a holiday here in the United States, we will not have a show that evening, but June 3rd, we have John Paul from Peter James Co.
Yeah.
And then on June 10th,
unboxing for that show.
That's right. So live unboxing of some of the beautiful leather work that products that he puts out. And on the 10th, Cigar Clowns. That's going to be a fun show. That'd be fun. Very fun show.
I've heard a lot of good things about Cigar Clown. They have a couple of good cigars.
Yes.
Don't know that have been out there, and then probably some better ones that came out recently.
So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. we went back and forth a little bit, and he's like, have you smoked much of our cigars? And I said, to be honestly, the only one I've really smoked was the one that you did with
Ron, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With that one company we don't like talking about.
Yeah.
And I actually almost smoked a box and a half of them.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him that. That's the only one. He was like, oh, cool. And then we went back and forth. And so we have them coming on the 10th, and I'm looking forward to it. That's
going to be fun. They've got a really, they're just sort of a fun, sort of irreverent, fun vibe to their company, the way they do business, the way they promote their brand. Very excited to have them on because they have been making a buzz in the last couple of years in the cigar business. That's for absolutely sure.
And it's Ray and his partner. They asked me, can they do a separate or if they had to be in one spot?
Either one works.
I told them I'd talk to you. I didn't talk to you about it, but
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to continue to schedule shows for June, the rest of June, July, all the way through the summer. It's going to be a fun, hopefully not too brutally warm summer here in Minnesota. If you live in other parts of the country, who knows? Summers, I know what summers get like in Florida and Texas. So,
and who knows? It might be weird. Like we had a weird winter this year.
Maybe we'll have a mild summer.
We can only hope.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I don't mind the hot weather.
I like 75, 80 degrees in the daytime and 60 at night.
I don't mind 85 and 90. I really don't.
At night?
Doesn't bother me.
No.
Doesn't bother me.
I told you I've been white.
There's AC. Just go. If you get too warm, just go inside in the AC.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the windows open. Save some money for cigars.
I would too. But
I mean, it's like 63 degrees in my house right now, but I love it.
Yeah. You got to keep it. You got to keep it cool inside. You can't sleep at night when it's over a certain temperature. Forget about it.
I got to have at least a light blanket on.
Yes. So guys, we are so grateful for you spending some time with us this evening.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey. And Dax, thank you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
We are again so grateful to you guys for spending time with us on How About That Cigar Live. If you have any questions for any of us, please make sure to email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. And as you can see on the screen right now, all of the buttons, click subscribe, click like, click follow. And this is really especially important on our YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com/HBT Cigar and click on the subscribe button. Because it helps us out a ton with YouTube algorithms and all the sciencey stuff that goes on behind the scenes at YouTube.
Don't forget about Cigars and Baseball.
Cigars and Baseball. That is, I believe, September 14th this year. Dax, please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe September 14th was last year.
12th this year. I got it on the thing already.
We'll figure it out. We got it. It's coming up though. It's coming.
September 12th.
There we go.
Yeah. Thank you, Dax.
And we're still working on getting JC Newman and their new cigar line.
Yes. But September 12th at CHS Field in St. Paul, Minnesota, where the St. Paul Saints play. Another wonderful Cigars and Baseball. Hopefully we'll have another year of great weather, just like we have for the last few years of Cigars and Baseball.
Thanks, Greg.
And Greg, thank you, brother. And we're just grateful to all of our viewers and listeners. You guys mean a ton to us, and we don't just say that lightly. We are grateful each and every time you guys listen and watch. It means the absolute world to us. And if nobody was watching or listening, we wouldn't keep doing it, I don't think. So you guys, it really means a lot to us that you guys spend some time with us on Monday nights. Have a fantastic Memorial Day. If you're here in the States, and even if you're not in the States, spend some time with your family this weekend. Be safe. Stay away from the booze if you're going to get behind the wheel. That's super important.
Of cars and boats.
Yeah. A lot of people spend time out on the water. Just have fun on the water and get home in one piece. And we want to thank you guys as always. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You'll find us at HBT Cigar. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys. any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of